Now that you've sewn the body together, we can give the mouse a face. This is my favourite bit because it's when they start to gain a bit of personality. So first of all, I'll just show you how to do the nose. So you take some peach thread. No matter which mouse you're working on, they all have the same peach coloured nose, peach coloured ears and peach coloured tail. And you're going to use, as you have for all of the other stitching so far, a single strand doubled over with a knotless loop start. I'm just using a few leftover strands from a piece of thread I'd already cut for another piece of sewing, and then you're just going to satin stitch the nose over the tip. So to do that, you start off by just putting the needle straight through the middle of the nose, pulling it almost through, putting the needle through the loop and pulling it tight, and then you're just going to continue to stitch from right to left over the tip of that nose, for as much stitching as you need to cover it and give your mouse a little round nose. Something else you can do is kind of wrap your thread over and go from top to bottom just a couple of times. To almost bind those few edges that you've got left over from where all the edges meet. You want your hemostat here because it can get quite stiff pulling the needle through this nose. So I'm just going to make sure that ends up binding there. Okay, so I would just carry on going from side to side and just cover the nose with peach thread. Right, I'm going to continue to do that, otherwise we'll be here forever if I do it all on the video, so I'll come back to you once I've covered the nose. Okay, so I finished sewing the nose. I just finished off the thread the same as we did with the ears, so I threaded it into an existing stitch and then came out, pushed it in between a couple of layers of the felt, came out at a random point of the body and chopped off the excess. We're going to do the mouth next. So for the mouth you need a single strand of black embroidery thread. If you've got the kit, your black thread is just knotted together with this green and olive ones if you're doing the first character. If you're doing one of the other characters, it will be with other colours, but it will still be in that knot. So you need to separate out a single strand, and we're going to tie a double knot in one end of the thread. And then pop the other end through the eye of your needle. To start off the thread, obviously there's nowhere to knot it or to hold it steady, so what we're going to do is we're going to put it through a couple of places in the body. So just pick anywhere really. And the idea is that you're going to pull it, so you want that knot, give it a tug so the knot pulls inside, and you want the knot and the threads to get lodged inside some of the stuffing inside. So wherever you've brought it out, you're going to go back through the exact point that you came out and come out somewhere else again. It's probably sensible to pick one of the holes that you already made, and that way it will be a bit less visible. So you pull that inside again, and you just need to do this as many times as it takes to secure the thread so that you don't feel it moving anywhere. So that's fine. I mean, you can see that little dark hole there, but that will get hidden when we put the clothes on the mouse. So then once you're happy that it's secure, you need to come up at the outer point of the mouth. And you can use your hemostat to pull the needle through if it's in an awkward spot. So next you go to the center point and come out again at the other side of the mouth, and to the center point again, and then I just come back through another random hole before I go to the very top, because it's easier than trying to maneuver the hole from there to come up to here. So I'm going to put it through this bit here, come up through the center point where those two mouth pieces just met. Just keep prodding it until you come up at the right place. That will do. And then bring the mouth up to the center of just underneath the nose. And again, you're just going to keep bringing the thread to holes that you've already made. And then you just need to secure the thread by going in and out of a few holes. And then weaving it inside the body. Trimming off the excess. And there's your mouth. And then all that remains is to put the eyes in. To make the eyes, the first thing you want to do is get your needle, poke it through one of the eyes and come out at the other marker, and then just wiggle it around to make a slightly bigger hole in there. And do the same on this side. Your glass eyes are on wire, but the end of the wire is, let me just put this so you can see it, is blunt, it's not sharp, so you need to make a hole for the eyes first with your needle, and then before you attach them with anything that's going to be permanent, just pop them in while it's dry without any glue, so that you can make sure that you're happy with the placement. So if your hole, I didn't put a very big hole in here, so I'm going to make a bigger hole. To make sure it's big enough for the wire. Your eyes might be slightly smaller or slightly bigger. All of the eyes are kind of handmade, so they will naturally be different, and they'll give your mouse its own character. So this one has got lovely big eyes. And then when you're happy with the placement of the eyes, take them out, and you're going to add a little bit of glue to the end of the post, and you can also dab a little bit onto the eye mark if you want. This is why it's important to have clear drying glue, because you don't want this to show up after you've finished. So they're a bit fiddly. I'm trying to do this left-handed, that's not going to work. Find the hole you made, pop in the eye, and then just kind of run your nail underneath it to remove any of the excess glue. Don't worry if it's gone onto the face a bit, because as I say, that will dry clear. And then just repeat it for the other side. Find the hole, push in the eye, wipe off the excess glue, and then you just need to leave them to dry. So don't keep prodding them around. Once they're in, put your mouse aside for a little while and let it dry, so that they are held in there safely. And then once they are dry, so I'd give it, well, it depends which glue you're using. With this glue I'd probably wait 10 or 15 minutes. This is called fast tack, but you can wait longer than that. And then once you're happy that it's dry, you can get your water spray and spray away the marks that you've got left. So you've got some for the ears, some for the mouth, and a little remaining around this tail spot. And then we're ready to make some clothes.